But I'm going to do my best Fran McCaffery impression here, Doug. All right? Get into it here. I'm going to get right up in you. And Fran McCaffery changed the entire game with the stare down, Doug. He went up right in Kelly Pfeiffer's face and literally just stared his ass down. I don't know if I can say that word, but it changed the whole game, Doug. Like you played for this dude. You were recruited by this dude. You played for him. I cannot believe Kelly Pfeiffer didn't throw him out of the game. I mean, he showed him up in the highest level of showing up a referee. I would have tossed him. Bye-bye.
For what?
You don't do that. It's showing up a referee. What do you mean, for what? For what?
It's during a timeout. It's during a timeout.
I like Fran, but you can't make
so
No.
Look, I'm entertained by the whole thing. He didn't say a word. He just stared at him. That's it. There's a lot worse things that are said. So again, I'll promote my basketball podcast with Shaka Smart. And one of Shaka's things, and he's right, is he feels like the bar changes based upon expectations. You know, like he's a guy that doesn't say anything. And so if he says anything at all, it gets immediate reaction. Whereas Fran has a reputation as a crazy person, right? So you're like, hey, Fran, he's harmless, he's crazy. A stare down is nothing, no big deal, right? It's been way worse.
Here's the problem.
Yes.
Here's the problem with somebody like Kelly Pfeiffer. Okay, some of these officials, a guy like John Higgins would have tossed them in 2 seconds because Higgins can get any other games he wants. Kelly Pfeiffer is a guy that wants to ref in the Big Ten. He's got a bunch of other smaller leagues. This is his big boy league. And he knows if he throws out Fran and Fran says, I don't want him on any more of my games, he could be cut out of the Big Ten completely. That's the problem I feel like we have with some of these officials. I would have tossed them and set a precedent right there that I'm not doing.
I'll be honest with you. I like Kelly a whole hell of a lot more than he didn't. I think one of the things that officials have to do a better job of is not overreacting. And oftentimes, if you watch the game, even though they got a lot of calls, especially late, they were down 10 and come back and win the game in overtime.
They're down 11.
Crazy.
Hey, they were down 11 with 55 seconds left. They're the 4th Division I team ever to win a game after trailing by 11 or more with less than a minute left in regulation. And it happened to Tom Izzo, Doug. That's the craziest part of all this is who would have thought a Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever do it, would blow this type of lead this late?
Well, I only tell you this, okay? And this is a real thing about Fran. I understand reputation-wise, like he's a crazy person. But if you actually know what he's saying and know what he's talking about, it is 100% about protecting his kids. It is not, it is not about anything else. Like he doesn't talk about other players or he doesn't get into personal with the officials. And I think that buys him some goodwill. And he's been doing it a long time, right? And as much as he can be a crazy person, he can also be a super thoughtful person as well. And I think those guys appreciate it. There's some equity there. But I mean, this was one of the craziest things. You have this happening for and it was only really like 10, 15 seconds. It seems longer because it's so uncomfortable, right? So uncomfortable.
And then he walks
and then the game flips. And then, then Kelly walks towards him. And it was like,
I wanted him to get nose to nose. I wanted him to be nose to nose.
It was so good.